Hello, I'm Monica Price and welcome to Cuppa TV. On today's show, I'm joined by a lady that's won an MBE, is an editor and is founder of the West Midlands Women of the Year Awards, a prestige event that honours and celebrates women in business. We welcome Justice Williams. I'm also joined by a young, very talented singer-songwriter, Alex Lindner, who's been described as a new age Bob Dylan. He's here today to talk about his career and of course he's going to sing to us. My first guest today is a lady that's passionate about women in business and herself has been awarded an MBE. She now heads up the West Midlands Women of the Year Awards and she joins me today to talk about her life. We welcome Justice Williams. Justice, thank you for coming on Cuppa TV.
Monica. Thanks for having me.
Lovely to see you, thank you. And Justice, I mean, you've done so much. You've won an MBE. I know that you're editor-in-chief for the City and Style magazine. Yes. So, you know, where do we start really? We could start there. Yeah. How long have we got?
Yeah, exactly.
But let's talk about women in business, because obviously that's something that's passionate that you do. So what inspires you to continue to do what you do?
To be quite honest, I'm just inspired by women and also as well the amazing talent that we have in the West Midlands that often goes unrecognised. You know, day to day I meet some amazing women doing some amazing things which are not normally in the mainstream media. So any opportunity that I have to work with women in the city of Birmingham or in the West Midlands as a whole is a great opportunity, and I think that, you know, from my background, I've been working with women in business for the last, I'd say, 8 years. And the last 3 to 4 years, I've been focusing more on women and young women, in particular women who are returning back to work after, you know, having a child and deciding that they don't want to actually get back into the corporate rat race and want to start their own business. So I've been supporting women in business for quite a few years now, and then starting the awards was a natural fit as well for myself.
It's kind of a progression really of it,
Definitely.
Obviously. So tell us about the awards, Justice.
Sure.
How did they come about?
Well, 6 years ago, I got an MBE from the Queen.
Yes, tell us about, well, let's start with that one, because that's amazing.
That was an amazing experience,
yes.
Very humbling moment. I mean, when I got the letter from the Prime Minister, I thought that he was asking me to nominate someone for an MBE. And I had to read it 3 times, and I called my mum, I was like, Mum, I think I'm getting an MBE. And she was like, not congratulations, she was just, oh my gosh, I'm going to meet the Queen, I need to go and buy a hat. Thanks, Mum. But yeah, after receiving an MBE, I was also awarded Cosmopolitan magazine Most Inspirational Woman of the Year. I received another award from Red magazine, and I was forever back and forth in London. I was an ambassador for some brands like Nokia, Microsoft, Levi's, about, you know, encouraging more women to be involved in technology and things like that. And I just felt that, you know, I was that token person from outside of the M25 in London. And I just thought, well, what about the West Midlands? Why are we not celebrating the success, talent and achievements of women from our region? So I just thought, why not just create your own awards? I mean, I have got a background in events management, so I just thought I might as well just do it. And I wasn't really concerned about sponsorship or, you know, sales. It was just about having a really great event and celebrating the talent in the city. So November the 28th, 2013 was our first awards, which took place at Hotel La Tour in Birmingham. But that part of the year, the latter part of the year, we compete a lot with a lot of business awards and things like that. So we decided that we was going to take a hiatus for 2014 so we could move it to the summer months. And that's why the second annual awards takes place this year on the 2nd of July at the Hyatt Hotel on Broad Street in Birmingham. And we're going to have a very civilised afternoon of high tea.
Oh, high tea is lovely.
Yes.
That sounds lovely. And what did you win your MBE for?
For services to young people in Birmingham. Because prior to receiving it, I'd spent probably about 7 to 10 years working with young people in the city of Birmingham, from young people that are involved in guns and gangs, teenage parents, young people that were inside of the care system, and just doing a lot of different projects and initiatives to trying to create real change in the city, including taking young people from some of what, you know, the city would call the most hard to reach backgrounds to Europe, to Brussels, to understand politics, to visit the European Youth Commission and just a bit visit Brussels and understand politics and how it works and why they should be involved and how it has an impact on our everyday lives, because I'm very, very passionate about young people and them, you know, making a positive contribution to society.
Yeah, I mean, we did a Cuppa TV election special and there was a statistic that came out, I think 58%, Sky said that 58% of the young actually voted this time, whereas a lot of people thought that the young weren't voting.
Yes.
But also there was a lot of young that were disengaged with politics.
Definitely.
And do you feel that's something that, you know, we could do more for? for them?
Oh, definitely. And I think also as well, in everything in life, you look for something that's similar to you, that you can relate to. Women, we look to other women in business. I could say 10 years ago, my business role models were men, because there weren't many visible female role models, and there are now. And with young people, it's the same. With politics, there are a lot more young people that are championing politics and being involved in politics and being active citizens, which encourages and inspires more young people. And also as well, it's sad to say, but some of the young people are very disgruntled with the last, the coalition,
Yes.
And how it impacted their everyday life. And it's when you actually feel that impact, you actually then think, actually, the only way I'm actually going to do anything about it is to actually be involved and take action. And that's why I think a lot more young people, especially around employment, and like things like housing and the bedroom tax, those, the benefit sanctions, those things have a big impact on young people, and things around apprentices and self-employment and things like that. So I think it's more on the hearts and minds of young people these days than it has been before.
Maybe ever before. But I mean, we have lots of businesses are in the West Midlands. We're very lucky to have, some very innovative businesses in the West Midlands. And do you think that's important, that the businesses engage with the young community as well, Justice?
Definitely. They're saying that, I think it's 2050, most of the jobs that are going to exist haven't even been created yet, because of society, because of technology and how things move so fast. So I think there definitely needs to be more to be done. There has been some really, really great work taking place, in the city and also in the West Midlands as a whole, with a lot of the big corporate organisations. But I don't think it should be tokenistic as part of somebody's CSR policy. Let's engage with some youth and young people just to tick that box that we've hit our corporate social responsibility. And I think it's also above and beyond apprentices and apprenticeships. So I think there's a lot more that we can do, instead of looking at young people as lazy, good for nothing so-and-sos that don't want to get out of bed, walk around causing mischief and causing antisocial behaviour, because there's some really, really amazing young people. And that's another reason why this year we've introduced a new category at the awards, the Aspire Award, which is for a young woman who's aged 16 to 25, who's basically, doing all she can to basically achieve her ambitions and aspirations in life. She may not be considered as successful, but she's actually putting all she can in to actually taking the steps to, fulfill her dreams. And I think it's important to recognise it, because sometimes all you need is those few words to say, it's okay, you are doing really, really well. Carry on, continue just being fabulous. And that's what sometimes that little bit of recognition does. And that's why it's important that the awards, don't hold necessarily monetary value, but I think it's a money can't buy experience. Just receiving an MB for myself, people probably think I'm rich, or, I've got the Queen on speed dial. It's not the case. But it just gives you that motivation and to say that, wow, somebody's looked and recognised me for all the hard work that I've been doing behind closed doors, and it's just inspired me to actually go on and to continue. And I think that when you get an MBE for services too, you continue to provide services to your community.
Yes, absolutely.
Because, it's not something that you went in and put in an application for. It's a pleasant surprise, a surprise that I'm very grateful to have received. But ultimately, I think that I must continue to do my work and to try and provide that platform, rather than to be on the platform all the time, to provide that platform.
You want to give something back,
yes,
is what you're saying. And with the awards, Justice, tell us about those. So it's going to be high tea, we know.
It's going to be high tea.
How many people how was the process? Do people have to be nominated?
Well, you can nominate or enter. I know that for certain categories, like Most Inspirational Woman of the Year, hardly anybody would really enter those categories because they would look to somebody else to nominate them. But for Entrepreneur of the Year and certain other categories, by all means, and I think that as women, we're very humble and we like to shy away from, oh no, somebody else can, somebody else will nominate me. But men never do that, They have no problem in walking to a room and saying, here I am, I'm fabulous. And I think it's not about being cocky or arrogant, but it's about self-belief and confidence. And that then inspires other women. So the awards itself, there are 11 categories in total. There were 9 that were open for nominations and, for people to enter. And that was ranging from sports, the arts, technology, entrepreneurship, social change.
So it was a real diverse, wide range of categories.
Yes, because we're not a business awards. We would say we're more of a lifestyle awards, where we want to take a 360-degree approach to where women contribute in society, and it's at all levels. We have a leadership award for women in the corporate sector. We have a business category. We have something for a young woman. We have the arts, social change, technology, sport as well, because we want to encourage more women to be active and be, involved in sports as well.
So with that diversity, Justice, obviously you're really looking to open up really the world, if you like, of business to women.
Yes, definitely.
Because the awards will inspire other women to do the same.
Definitely. I mean, I can't talk too much about what we're planning for next year,
Oh, you have to come
but we
back
might
and
be
tell
doing
us,
another awards,
Yeah.
which kind of spins off from what we're actually going to be doing as part of Global Entrepreneurship Week, because we're heavily involved in that as well. So every year we organise events for Global Entrepreneurship Week, because it's all about celebrating women in business and encouraging and inspiring other young people, men and women, to get in business. And men can attend the awards as well.
Yes, so they can.
And because people always think, is it just a women's only? It's not going to be, not going to be bashing men. No, and it's about being inclusive, and it's also about them celebrating the women in their lives too.
And obviously, you know, continue to do the good work that you do, because it sounds like you're very passionate about what you do. So it's been a pleasure to meet you.
Thanks
Thank you
for having
so
me.
much. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So that's it just for the moment. We're going to take a quick break now, but come back and join me in just a minute. Welcome back to Cuppa TV. My next guest has been hailed as the new Bob Dylan, hugely talented and wowing the crowds. We welcome singer-songwriter Alex Lindner. Alex, welcome to Cuppa TV.
Thank you for having me.
Wonderful to have you here.
Yeah,
so
good to
Alex,
be here.
you're a young musician. You've been hailed as a new Bob Dylan. How does that make you feel?
Worried, really.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if I can.
No pressure, no pressure.
No
That's
pressure.
it, yeah.
No pressure. But yeah, he's huge idol to me.
Yes. Obviously that's somebody that means a lot to you.
Yeah. I mean, you know, he's the kind of guy you can listen to and it will just sort of change your life in one song, you know. It's incredible.
So it's incredible. So tell us about your life as a musician, Alex. So when did you start singing, songwriting?
Oh, I've been singing since I was
Low.
very
Very young. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I started as a classical musician. Violin used to be my main instrument until I was about 18. I picked up a guitar when I was 17, and yeah, I just got really heavy into jazz and blues and just got obsessed with that. So I kind of moved away from that a bit, and then got into songwriting and producing and playing with textures and sounds.
And that's what you're doing now.
And that's what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you come from quite a musical family background?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, both my parents are musicians. My dad managed an orchestra for 20 years.
Oh, fantastic.
My mum's a choir trainer, so I couldn't escape it, really.
Yeah, so you didn't have a choice. But
No,
was
no
it
choice.
something that came naturally to you?
I always, like the whole sort of talent thing, I'm always a bit sceptical about it, because I think, you know, if you're doing it from a young age, you know, it's what you know, it's what you practice from a really early age. It's just, it then becomes part of you, and it just sort of comes out.
It's a natural thing. And I mean, as a writer now, how do you think the music industry's changed, Alex?
It's hugely, no one really knows what's going on. You know, the industry's reacting to, you know, the technology, and the technology's reacting to the industry, and yeah, it's very interesting, because it hasn't settled into a rhythm yet. You know, new models are still settling, and some people are up in arms about certain things, but I think it will. You know, it will have to sort of flatten out. But
yes,
yeah, the internet's changed everything.
Yeah. Do you think it's benefiting the music industry with the way? I mean, you make an EP and it goes online.
Yeah, there's two ways to it. You know, from the creative point of view, it's incredible how much control you can now have. You know, if you have a laptop, you have a whole studio right in the palm of your hand.
Which is incredible, isn't
which
it,
is
if
amazing.
you think about it?
Like, the creative control you can have is amazing. But now as a musician, there's so much you can do. You know, technically, you know, a producer is only one sort of side of this whole technical aspect of making a record. And you know, there's supposed to be a recording engineer, mixing engineer. You know, there's so many people supposed to be involved. There's a mastering engineer, and now you can do all of that and write the songs and play all the instruments, and so it's pretty amazing.
So there's sort of pluses and minuses probably by what you're saying.
Yeah,
there. Yes.
yeah. I mean, the one thing is that I feel like a lot of music these days, because there's so much going on and there's so much heritage behind all the music that we're playing, that for it to, I don't know, for it to be commercially sort of viable, it has to have that sort of production level, the production sheen, and that sort of gets prioritized about.
So it's a necessary. That's a necessary. Not I won't say necessary
Exactly.
evil, but it's something you have to live with. I suppose.
Yeah.
It's just part of the progression of the music industry.
Yeah, I mean, you know, to fund making a record is a huge thing. So people have to kind of make do with what they have, and that's kind of what has to be prioritized for a lot of people.
And when you're singing and songwriting, you've been doing that obviously for many years, as you've said. When you're songwriting, what do you think about? What do you write about?
Sort of whatever comes to me. I watch people a lot. I kind of get in their head and kind of write from their point of view. I write from what comes to me. It's just about capturing a feeling, an emotion, trying to just capture its sort of essence, basically.
And you've travelled around the UK. I mean, you've done a lot of gigs, but at the moment you're concentrating on just getting your EP. Is that right?
Yeah. So I released an EP about 6 months ago. That's had some awesome reviews, and people have really responded to it, which has been great.
Yeah.
Now it's all about EP2, and going to be releasing a single next month. I'm launching a music video in this next week, actually.
Oh, fantastic.
Which I made with a friend, which was a lot of fun.
Excellent. What's that called?
So the song is called For You.
For You.
It's it's a ballad which I did on a Fender Rhodes, which my drummer happened to have. It's this amazing 60s instrument.
Fantastic. Is that what you're going to be doing for us today?
No, today I'm doing a more traditional song, really. It's called The Deserters. I'll play in a bit.
You'll play that in a bit. That's
yeah.
Good. But when you're doing that and you're in your studio time, is that a really important time for you to make sure everything's right? I mean, you said you've got the equipment and.
I get a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to the deadline approaching, and the whole process is kind of a funny one for me. Like sometimes a song can just come to me, production and everything in an hour or two, and I don't sometimes lately I've been able to just write just on a laptop and draw up the sounds and play with the sounds and kind of get it all down right there and then just without a microphone or anything, just using the laptop
just do
mic.
it there. Fantastic.
But yeah, sometimes I'll work on something and it will just be me and an acoustic guitar, and I'll just work on it for, verses will come, and sometimes I'll write 10 verses or something and pick my favourites.
And what about your fans, your fan base? Are they important to you,
Yeah,
Alex?
yeah. I mean, it's amazing, people connecting with the music and the kind of things people have been saying. That's why I'm doing it, to connect with people, really. And
where do you see yourself? What would you like to do for the future?
Just carry on making music, creating, performing. It's what I love doing. It's kind of I feel called to do it, basically.
And is there anybody you'd like perhaps to collaborate with? Do you have sort of lots of musicians now collaborate with other musicians, don't they? Is there anybody that you would like to collaborate with?
I mean, like I love all the old guys. Like we mentioned Bob Dylan. I love like Tom Waits, Leonard Cohen. I mean, they're still carrying on making records even though they're in their 70s, and it's like, to go in, and I'd love to sort of bring what I can bring to their what they're doing, because they're just huge idols for me, really.
Fantastic.
But yeah, there's tons of amazing artists out now as well that I'd love to work with as well.
That'd be great. Well, you're gonna play us out.
Yeah.
So before we say goodbye, so what are you gonna play? What are you gonna play for us?
So yeah, it's a song called The Deserters, and it's basically a sort of letter to anyone who's sort of let you down, basically.
Okay. All right,
Yeah.
excellent. Well,
Right.
You get ready and I'll just say goodbye to our lovely audience.
Right.
So that's it for today on Cuppa TV. I'd like to thank my guests, Justice and Alex, for joining me, and thank you for watching. We'd love to hear from you, so please do get in touch, either by email or join us on Facebook or Twitter at Big Centre TV. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Was a clock that stopped on the day you closed the door. I won't explain why you don't see me anymore. I guess it's easy not to change, when you can walk away. And here and now, darling, I'm trying to find those words. Some men lose them when they're trying to come to terms with how birds fly south when called. Ooh, you just walked away. So I see you're doing well, and you got something you must say. So I remember when you turned to me, saying where you'll be, I'll always stay. Oh Lord, I'll always stay. I always knew deep down one day we'd meet again. We're tracing winters with the movements of his pen. It takes a lot to make it all, won't just melt away. The red sky's dripping to the bottom of this page. It's falling down, bringing darkness to these days. So we ignite with any spark that comes our way. So I see you doing well,